So this is your fifth year. You spent 4 full years, your fifth year. What was the biggest adjustment when you moved to the queue?
The biggest adjustment for me was like a little bit moving away from home was a little different. Obviously, it was something I didn't see coming at all. Really, I played midget at home, and then it just went from there. And Drumville drafted me early in the second round, so I was happy enough and went to camp just to prove what I had. And they let me stick around here for the first half 16. Made a name for myself then, after, and played a few good games. So I just continued to develop, and I think just like the coaching staff and development there was great for me, and just getting games under my belt last year and after an injury at 18, I think was big for me just to get experience.
Now, you went in the second round, you said. It was a pretty goalie heavy draft. You know, like you were there, Russo, Minesotta, those guys played. A lot of those guys are still 20. Do you look back at that draft and think you could have been anyone's pick? There could have been 30 seconds. And then exactly their whole boys. You could have been a big move. Did you know that ahead of time that someone wanted you, or did you go into it just wherever, whenever?
I kind of went into it wherever. Honestly, I was surprised when Drumville took me because I was a goaltender who made it very clear that I wanted to play in the queue. And at the time, they had 2 returning that would be 18-year-olds. So it was a little surprised, but I went to camp and just tried to prove what I could do and show my abilities to myself. And I was able to stay there. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a special draft. A lot of goalies still around, and even 2 goalies just left, like St. Clair and Miller, who were very good goaltenders who are also our birth here. So I think it's definitely a good group of goalies that are now 20-year-olds. And I think about I think it was 2000 I had to go through 2, and they kind of moved in during the similar time. Made room for ourselves to come in and show what we could do.
Yeah, when you went to Quebec, did you find any big, I don't want to say issues, but any big adjustments that you didn't really think about until you got there?
Yeah, honestly, I was prepared with my brother going through the same situation, but I think just being an English-speaking player going through a French city can be a little bit of an adjustment. But I think Drumville does a very good job of having a diverse team, and with a mix of English and French, and everything around home is English, and great buildings there. They're English, so everything was kind of good with that. But that's probably one of the biggest adjustments that people find when they go to Quebec.
When you're from Newfoundland, did you find, I know Newfoundland's not split. Did you have any experience with speaking French, or was it just completely just going right in there?
No, just going right in there. Obviously, a bit of core French in school, but I never took French immersion, so I kind of just jumped right into it. I haven't picked up on it that much being there, but obviously a little bit, being able to comprehend a little bit, but still, it's a great city. I think a lot of the younger generation, even older people, they also have somewhat of a broken or fluent English, so it's pretty easy there.
Did you bring anything with you from Newfoundland? I know my aunt is her mother is from a few minutes away from where you grew up. So I'm wondering, did you bring anything like mummering? Is it mummering? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, well, no, I never. I didn't bring really much from back home. I always, it's so different with the technology now and stuff. You're always away from home, but you're so close to there too. I'm always in contact with my family, my cousins, and what they're doing at home. That's stuff I enjoyed when I was home in the winter that I kind of miss now, a little bit of hunting and stuff like that they keep me informed on, and getting outdoors. That sometimes it's not as much as what I would get into now, just because of the circumstances of it. But I still enjoy all that stuff and stay connected with the home province.
Just to do a lot of hunting back in Newfoundland.
Yeah. When I was younger, I enjoyed it. Even whenever I get the chance, I do. I was home over Christmas, and me and my cousin and my buddy went to rabbit hunting one morning, and another day, me and my 2 cousins, we also went duck hunting. So I enjoyed it to get outdoors and spend time. I think it's good for a mental mindset of things, and it's stuff I enjoy.
Now you had a pretty good jump right into the team, like you said that your numbers would show that. Was there a point where you got into it and you said like, okay, I feel like I'm ready, like I'm here, or was it easy? That first game you played, you're like, this is not easy, but you're like, I made the jump, I can do this.
Yeah, obviously it was definitely a transition period. Like my first 2 years, you know, they were a bit more difficult with the team that we had. And, like obviously trying to make a name for myself and feel comfortable and get a little bit of experience in the league. It's obviously different, and you develop during the practice time, but you really show what you can do when it's your test during the game. So the more and more games you played, the better I became. And I think that transition, actually it was an injury at 18 that I was feeling like well coming back from Montreal training camp, and I had an injury, and I spent a lot of time still focusing on myself and everything. So when I came back, I felt really prepared. I was kind of thrown into the net, and I didn't look back from there.
Nice. You mentioned going to training camp. Now you have a pretty good track record being in training camp. You went to Boston, Montreal, and Jersey.
Ottawa, Montreal,
So yeah,
and then Minnesota this summer.
nice. So all those different camps, you speak to different goaltending coaches, development. Is there anything that they all kind of said to you that fell the same line versus everybody had something kind of different to say? They all approach your game a little differently, or was it all kind of the same?
Yeah, I think a lot of them see my game similar. Like the way I like to be seen, like a goaltender who's calm and he tracks puck very well and his position. So I think they all see that in me and my potential. So I think they all see similar thing and similar abilities to work on too. So it was nice to get little ideas from each spot, because obviously from 17 to now I've developed tremendously. So I think each spot had definitely a little say in that, and a little bit of extra motivation or a bit of push to keep improving and you know showing interest to show that I am capable of playing pro one day.
You know, a lot of guys with goaltending, it's easier to usually kind of jump up. Like you can bring your game up versus dropping your game down. So you find it difficult coming back from NHL camps and going back to the Q where you know the time is slightly off, the shooters aren't as good. Does that every time you come back, you have to take a second to think about that? Listen, I might not have the best game as soon as I come back, but 3 games in, I'll just dominate again.
Yeah, it's a little different making jumps from junior to professional, but I think I've done pretty well each time I came back. I performed really well coming back, because you come back with a lot of confidence, obviously, and you come back with a lot of good habits that sometimes might leave your game during the season that you try to keep at, and so they stay as good habits when you come back and you're really sharp, really motivated. I think that has a lot with the success that I had coming back from camps.
Can you talk about those habits? Are you superstitious? Like, is it one of those things you only want to talk about?
No.
Some ones are either on the other, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not very superstitious. Obviously, I have my little bit of routines, but if I miss a beat of my routine, it does make a difference. But there's not too many. Like, just I do the same warm up, do the same thing on ice. I don't really know like the name off on hand, but they kind of just happen.
When you're in the game, are you one of those guys that you were dialed into every single movement of the puck? Are you kind of in your own head? Are you listening to music? Or are you just repeating phrases to yourself? Like, how do you balance staying in the game and being in the moment?
Yeah, it was something that I think has been a big part in my development. I think just when I was younger, I used to be thinking a lot during the game, because you know when the play's about to ring, you have a lot of time to yourself, and a lot of times you're thinking, a lot of times you're looking at your shot clock, a lot of times you're maybe thinking your stats in your head. But when you're playing at your best is when you're really dull and you're kind of in that flow state when you're not thinking of everything. So you know, last year I was kind of wasn't busy every single night like with the team we had, so it was something that I think I grew a lot, and in practice time I worked on too, where I would just kind of stay to my own and do my own thing. So that kind of helped with games when I'm just sitting in my net when there's other things going on, but I just have to focus on myself. So yeah, now I think I'm one of those goalies who are always in a flow state and just I don't repeat anything in my head. It's kind of clear. I'm just waiting for the next part.
You've obviously faced a lot of guys. is who among the league players you played against do you think in 5 years you've been a part of this has the best shot versus the most underrated shot?
Yeah. Obviously, I think it makes a difference with age, you know, because when you're younger, you think some shots are a lot better, and when you get older, you feel more confident in all the shots you're facing in the league. But when I was younger, I think William before he played with me when I was 16, and his shot was something else that was really good, and you know, it challenged me in practice and things like that. So his was probably great. Alexi Howard on last year had points release too. Showed that in 19 with the 50 goal season. So he was good. And then underrated shot.
Underrated goal scorer. Like it's maybe a sneaky guy that you wouldn't expect, but when he's got the puck on his tape, you gotta be looking for it. Right?
Yeah, I think you know, kind of took my answer away from last year, but I think like Sam Oliver is leading the league in goals right now. And I think last year was kind of a bit of an underrated goal scorer. But, you know, he's really shown it this year that he can really put the puck in the net. So I'm happy to see what's happening for him this season, and he definitely deserves it.
Nice. Growing up, obviously, we played a lot of hockey, a lot of intense games. Is there a guy, goalie-wise, that you played against, whether you were younger or even in the queue, you kind of thought was going to be not like a first-round pick, but you thought maybe their career would go for it? Is there a goalie you looked at and like, I think he's like he might go minimum ECHL in the queue, and just maybe didn't?
Obviously, I don't follow too much like of the league and the stats, but I know it was always difficult. I think like Samuel Richard, I think he showed what he does at UMB. Like when he was older in the league, like that 20-year-old season, I was 17. Like I think that was a goalie that it didn't matter who I was playing against. You know, it was going to be like game because they had him in that. I've had a lot of respect for my goalie partner when I was younger, Frankie Lieutenant. He was great for me when I was younger and helped me a lot. So he's a great goalie. I think he's still just waiting on his opportunity a little bit at every level he succeeded. But he's had chances at pro camps too, and I think he's just waiting. He's doing great now still. So he's definitely a guy I see a lot in and helped me a lot.
He was a guy that I definitely liked to watch. He got around as a trainer. He was Gatineau, Drummondville, the Island, which I was into. But he got around. He was a goalie watch. He was playing at university. We might see him turn pro. A lot of, I mean, you're not obviously on the bus as much as some teams like the Eagles, but what do you do when you're busting on you? The guys sleep usually.
Usually I'm a big sleep guy in the morning, especially when we leave. But I think school time, and you know, when we're playing so much hockey, it's hard to go. So when you got that free time on the bus, if the service is good and you're able to work on school, it helps make the hockey a lot easier too when you don't have extra stresses.
You've obviously played in every round in the league. Without throwing shade, is there a rink maybe that you really like versus a rink that maybe you don't like? Whether it's the showers, the bounce stuff, the boards. Obviously your home rink.
Yeah, my home rink. Yeah, obviously it's the one I feel most comfortable in, and it's great. But you know, Halifax is always fun. It's always a nice rink to play in, and it's nice to come to the Maritimes for us. Like I enjoy when we make these trips, and and they have a great fan base here too. So I like playing in Halifax, and one that's a bit tougher is probably like Bates Mall. I found in the playoffs last year. They had an extremely loud crowd, and they had Eagles heard it. They had a lot that big boat horn, so it was quite the atmosphere there. It made it fun to play, but I'm sure it's also difficult to play.
Now you're a Newfoundland guy, obviously. The league's going back to Newfoundland next year. This is your last year. Now, as someone who's familiar with Newfoundland and how much the travel is, are you slightly happy that you don't have to go play there, or would you have liked to at least maybe have a few games in there?
When I seen the news, I was a bit disappointed knowing it was my last year and I didn't have the chance to go play there in front of family and friends. But I think it's great for the province and the city of St. John's, because I think they'll really succeed here. Obviously, travel. Not sure how that'll work so far with what their schedule will be next year, but I think whoever goes there and all
you go to any games when you're younger, like ice cap games? Like you're probably too young to go to those games, right?
Yeah, when I was really young, I don't remember, but I was into a 5 game. I actually had a picture. I'm not sure if it was Allen or another goalie's, but I was down in the dressing room and had one of their goalies' helmets on as a young goalie. But but watching ice cap game growing up, obviously most recent years ground games. So I think it's really good for the province and for me, I didn't really know the queue that much, so it's good for the younger players that they'll get a chance to see these top prospects like caliber hockey firsthand and have a vision of seeing themselves being there one day and knowing what they have to do or have a perspective of where they can see themselves amongst others that are already in the league. So I think it's great for Newfoundland hockey because really I got my first taste of it when my brother went to the Gator Towns and actually Blainville were in the semifinals with Charlotte at that time. And I went to a playoff game and my mom was giving me shivers and that's when I was like, I would love to play here. So
Nice. You mentioned it before, you went to many camps. You're 20. A lot of times that's when guys turn pro. I know you obviously can't say everything, obviously, but you turn 19. You're 19 last year. You win the Q championship. You've done nothing but dominate. You sit down with your agent and go, listen, there might not be anything left for me in this league. Do we work on pro deals, whether it's you jump to the post, you sign at the university, maybe you go to Europe for a year and then come back over. Did you have any in-depth conversations? Was there any thought processes?
yeah.
That you talked about?
Obviously, I'm still focusing on junior and with the goal of playing pro and with the NCAA opening up, I think it gives you a more breathing room and a better path for development of getting pro one day with great hockey there too. So I'm still in the middle of deciding. I'm not in a rush, but I'm just focusing on my junior hockey now and continue to hopefully succeed the rest of the season and see what happens. So.
Nice. You spoke a little bit earlier. Do you guys communicate a lot? Like, do you bug them and be like, hey, can you ask them Marquis something maybe like this or anything like that? Or do you just let it be and somebody talking?
I don't ask them specifics like that, but we're really close. And I was talking to him last night. We drove into Cape Breton last night, and I played against Halifax night before. He played at home against the Rangers, and last night when I got to the hotel, he's kind of relaxed, and I'm relaxed, and we're always talking through FaceTime, and we're always in contact. Just not always on the hockey side of it, but just family, brother side of it most times. So he's been great for me to look up to, and a great brother, and then also for hockey career, it's great to have someone in front of you and so close.
You guys were lucky to play season and a half.
It would have been a full season, but it was the bubble season, so we just we played one game against each other. I didn't start, but he managed to score a hat trick, and coach's decision was to put me in after. So from his actions in the game, actually got me to play against him. And we had one shot against each other, and I saved it. So it's that was fun.
You guys have like a funny relationship? Like, he finally put me against like John and sent him into this way. I could have did that. Maybe you should have stopped it here.
Obviously, we talk about our games and whatnot. Usually, we keep the chirping to a minimum, but we obviously sometimes we're obviously talking about our games and situations that happen in our game and just talk them out. But most of the friendly fire and chirping comes in the summer with things outside hockey. So with our little competitions that we play, like if it's either who's stronger in the gym or if it's like playing tennis or anything along those, fishing, who gets the bigger fish, like stuff like that. We're always teasing each other, so it's a great relationship.
Are you a big gear slut? Like, I know you use more dark gear and a bit more white gear. Do you put a lot of thought in your process? Like, some guys are super particular with a lot of super, like, the stick has to have a slight curve here.
Yeah.
Do you put a lot of thought into it, or you just what you like?
Yeah, what I like, but I wore CCM before and then switching into Bauer and really got into like the digiprint and stuff like that. So I'm a big guy and feeling comfortable in my gear and feeling like it's good and I look good. So I like that. I like the blacks with the reds and I like the whites with the whites. So I try to mix it up, and I'll be getting another set now soon after Christmas. So hopefully they'll turn out nice. And then same with my helmet. Like I put a lot of thought into my helmets and how they'll look and how they'll match within my gear. So I do put a lot of thought into it, and that's one of the most fun things for me as goalie is getting to customize your gear.
And what paint your mask with?
Extreme airbrush, so it's Michael Carrier. It's a painter out of Montreal. It was actually, I've never had a mask painter before I came to Q, and that's who always designed Frankie's helmet. So as soon as I came in, I got put in contact with him, and he's done a great job since.
But like some guys, like I don't know how in depth you're allowed to be with the creation wise for the mask, but like a guy like Joey who likes to sneak things in every single time. Do you like to do that, or is just what you see is what you see?
Well, obviously when you have the close up, like you can see a little bit. My first one, I put a lot of like, little hunting details in it, and like there's little moose like antlers and stuff throughout, like the small things, and then cancer has affected my family a lot, like as I've grown up and stuff. So I always incorporate that Hockey Fights Cancer logo somewhere. Mom's usually the black back plate, and then when I was my first helmet I had, and my second helmet, I had like a hunting scene on the back, incorporating like my dog Bauer, who hunted with us when we were younger and stuff. So just small things like that, and obviously your classics, your numbers, your logos. Try to look into a few third logos, like maybe the top of the painter, maybe they come up a little bit different or stuff like that. So definitely put a lot of thought into it, and sometimes it's original, other times, you're searching Instagram trying to find maybe what other guys have done, and little bits that you want to incorporate in your helmet too.
Nice. You spoke about Instagram there. Not sure if you know or follow, but Q-Zone, its own QFJHL, we speak fairly regularly. He wanted me to ask you, what makes you so dominant on the breakaway or one-on-one situation?
No, I'm not completely sure. It's something that I've always enjoyed with. Growing up, there's always like I'm kind of a player's goalie, I guess you would say. Like now it's a bit different, like with trying to regulate like your rest of the game ratio and stuff like that. But I was always after practice, after like little stuff and that we made them growing up. Like I'd always want to stay on extra, do breakaways. Like they want to play rebound, they want to do breakaways, whatever they want to do. I was always open to being in there, being here for that. So that probably helped out. And then just Hockey Canada Youth and League Camp, that was a topic we talked about, and how to break down breakaways and things like that. So a lot of times it just comes to reads and natural stuff. So there's nothing too special, but obviously there's a nice one.
You were kind of a unique number in the league. I mean, at this point, like, I don't know if there's really any not unique goalie numbers at this point. Everybody's letting they're letting do their own thing now. Where does that number come from? Are you a Leafs hater? Like, what is it?
Now, 67, that comes from my nanny. She was big in my hockey when I was younger. She would pick us up from school, bring us to the rink, strap me, like put the pads on me. First time actually I played goaltender. My parents were on a trip, and she's the one who went up and picked up the pads for me, and I was staying at her house, put them on in the mini stick net with my cousins and getting shot on. And first practice, she was the one there who put them on me. So. And she passed away in 2017, so then that was when I decided to take number 67. That's how old she was when she passed away. And actually, my brother had the idea, and he wore it for ball hockey, Hockey Canada before me. And then when I jumped into Q and could pick my number, I chose to wear that 67.
That's really nice. Kind of all I got for you. Do you have anything that you want to tell anything about yourself, describe your game for somebody who doesn't know you or somebody who wants to know you? Anything about it?
No, obviously, I think for myself, and I think young goalies growing up, even like if you're not always on the radar, if you're good enough, you'll find your way, and just keep on working hard. And the most important thing is, doesn't matter how you stop the puck, it's just the will to stop the puck. So stopping the puck and helping the team win games, you'll eventually find your way.
Nice. Just talking about this now. Last year you had a killer year, obviously you won. Congrats. You didn't make the under 20 team, despite having that kind of a year. Did you use that as motivation? Did you think coming in maybe you'll get them right to campus? Like we had two guys like you, which hasn't happened since I think 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Did you think maybe you might be on that radar as somebody under the radar coming, like sneaky and maybe move your way in?
Yeah, well, for the World Juniors, like that would have been the last year thing because like it's an 18, 19-year-old tournament, but like last
Sure,
year, well, thanks for the winning and stuff, but last year I worked hard at the start of the season. Obviously, it's always a little bit there, but your play will show for you, and I think the two goalies that made it there, like Rousseau and St. Clair, were having great seasons. They definitely deserved it, but I'm always focused on what's happening in the moment, and if you're playing here well enough and your folks out here, people will notice and then Todd will take over. But I was pleased with how I played in the first half, and then I think I improved in the second half. So I was definitely happy with the season, and obviously that was on the radar, but it never happened with the guys who were there who definitely deserved to go.
It's kind of all I got for you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
No, thank you.